Hello, and welcome to another episode of Backlog Brain Rot. Today, I am joined by one of my usual co-hosts, Sean.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Cannot wait to talk about the beloved PlayStation 1 console. Woo!
Oh, it's been a long time coming. I've been talking about doing this episode for months on end now, and of course, we couldn't do it without resident old head gamer Addi.
Out of retirement just to talk about my favorite console of all time. Hello, everyone.
We couldn't do this one without you because you've spent months talking about how you would want to be on this episode, and we had it planned originally to record in early in the year, and as you know, as we've said, many personal issues have come up between Straw Hat and I, so it's like, all right, now we're finally time to do it. So this one, I'll say before we even really get going, I was a little nervous to do this episode. I didn't feel qualified. I was a little worried about putting together my own top 10 for PlayStation 1 games. I thought I'd get laughed out of the room. And then I kind of started to make mine, and we'll see if you guys laugh at it. But actually, I was like, okay, I feel pretty comfortable that I was able to actually do 10 PS1 games with no duplicating franchise entries. So I was like, okay, I've played more than I thought.
I apologize
Yeah,
about
was
my
that a rule,
list.
by the way? Because
It wasn't a rule. It was
okay.
just like a personal goal of mine. Like, I don't want my
Yeah,
list to be Crash 1 through 3, Spyro 1 through 3,
that's
Spider-Man 1
fair.
and 2. I'm like, I can't do that.
There
But
was actually
I
only
can't host an episode with a list like that.
there was only one game that really missed my list because I said no duplicating franchises. It's a Final Fantasy game, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But other than that, I kept it. I took that one off, and there was no other one that would have conflicted with that. So
It,
yeah, but I did kind
it's
of go by that rule.
it's funny. I'm usually the big proponent of that rule, like one per franchise, and I didn't follow that for this, which is hilarious. And I'm usually that guy who's always like, nope, one per franchise, no matter what.
If it was harder for me, I probably would have done it. But because it was just one game, I was like, all right, I'll leave that one off.
I will say,
I
before we
no problem.
go, I mean, don't worry about it too much, Sean, because I think that you have if I didn't crunch numbers or anything, but you definitely have the list with the most games that only you voted for. So I think you did your
Well,
job.
I wonder why mine is full of JRPGs. So
Well, the JRPG's got a lot of vote. You got to remember the server audience, but you just happen
I
to have
know, but
quite a few that no one,
Well,
no
the
one else is
PlayStation
voting.
1 is really a JRPG console, though. Like, that's just some of the best JRPGs of all time are still on that console. So I don't think that's surprising at all.
some of them I like. I'm not like Legend of Dragoon. I've never played.
Oh, you've never played Oh, it's so
No,
good.
I've never played it.
Oh,
No.
Legend of Dragon's good. That one missed my list, unfortunately, but it's a good game.
Well, before we actually get into the list, we normally talk a little bit about our history with the console, maybe some memories with it. But like I said, I actually did not have a PlayStation 1, and I didn't have a PlayStation until PlayStation 2. And that's where I played, I know I played Spyro on PlayStation 2 because it was backwards compatible. But I remember as a kid, I didn't realize you couldn't save a PS1 game on a PS2 memory card. So I never was able to save any of my games, and I never could figure out why, as if it was some sort of rocket science. But so a lot of my PlayStation 1 playing came after. So I've never actually used a PlayStation 1 console in my entire life. So I don't really have a lot to say, but I want to throw it to Addi since it's one of your favorite consoles ever.
Yeah, well, it's, I think I'm sure I've told this story on one podcast before, if not this one, but quickly. Basically, I remember growing up and going to my dad's house, and he had a PlayStation 1, and that was kind of, I owned a Nintendo 64, but he owned, and I primarily lived with my mom at that time. But whenever I went to visit him, I would get to play the PlayStation. And, I would remember just waking up late at night, sneaking out because everyone else was sleeping. I'd go in the living room. I'd play Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, Crash Bandicoot, all of these games. He had a demo disc that I would always play that had all these demos of games on there and stuff like that. And just being wowed by these games because obviously they're very different than what Nintendo 64 could do at the time. And just being amazed at these experiences and just how, I don't want to say futuristic it seemed, but it kind of did at that age and being so young because, the advancements they were able to do with it being a disc based console. And also, having to wipe down the discs because they would never load properly. That was fun too.
And what about you, Sean? Did you have one of these? Because you're younger than me, and I never had a PS1, so I'm curious, did you actually have one?
Yeah, we had one in my house. So the PS1 came out just about a year before I was born, about 11 months actually. And my dad got one the day it came out, September 9th, 1995. He was super hyped for it. He told my mom he was going to buy a couch, and then he came home with a PlayStation.
Based.
Um, that's what he does. He loved it. And I remember some of my earliest memories are with the PlayStation 1, because I remember just like growing up and like before the PS2 came out, I was like, 3, 4 years old and just playing on it. Some of my favorite games were on the PS1. My favorite game of all time is on PS1. Obviously, is Final Fantasy VII. But a lot of those games, like I would still be playing a lot of PS1 games in like 2002, 2003, and I would use like the old PS1 console because I thought it was so cool. Like press the button and the top comes up, and I love the design of it. I love the color, like that gray color was awesome. So I have a lot of fond memories, and some of my favorite franchises started on this console, and Crash Bandicoot started on this console. The Tales series started on this console. I'm like Suikoden started on this console. Some of my just overall favorite series, and just watching my dad play through like Resident Evil and being like totally terrified as a kid. And I remember like 1999 watching. I'm like 3 years old watching my dad play Metal Gear Solid and think I'm watching like a movie. And I thought it was so cool.
Be also remiss not to mention it's got to have the best console startup of all time. Like it's so iconic. Yeah, I mean it's so iconic. They even brought it back for that the PlayStation 5 recently, the 20th or
Yeah.
whatever it was, 25th anniversary, and people were mad that it went away. They wanted it back because it was such a great console start.
Yeah.
So yeah,
One more thing I will say is my sister's one of her favorite franchises of all time is Spyro the Dragon, and she used to play this all like anytime we were sick and we stayed home from school. Like it would be like Spyro the Dragon, like on like I remember when my sister was sick before I even went to school. It was like she would just play like Spyro all day.
It's kind of crazy if you like really think about how many of like the most popular Sony developers nowadays like got their big break on this console. So they've really been here ever since the beginning of PlayStation.
Yeah, we got Insomniac, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't really think about that until you just said that. Like, oh yeah, these guys have been around a long time. But I think we can get into the list then. It's as always, I solicited write-ins. Sometimes we have people only send in top fives, but this time we let people do all 10. So there was a lot of different games that got votes. As always, if you gave a game first place, they got 10 points, down to 1 point for 10th place. So there were 54 games that got votes, which is a pretty good amount because I don't even know how many PS1 games there are, but it's not like there's like thousands of them, right?
There's like 300 and something. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, there was more than it says
it was a
there's
good amount.
1,200
Yeah.
PS1
1200. Oh,
games.
I thought it was 300 something.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
well.
it sounds about right. There's a
There's a
it was
lot.
long for around for a steamy long time, the PlayStation, and had a lot of releases on it. So
Not as many games as would be released later. I feel like this is still in the. I was thinking about this earlier, where it's like this is still in the era where there were a lot of games, but that's over the course of many years. Like that many games
correct.
release in like 6 months nowadays.
Yeah.
But this was, so there's still something special about this. This is still like a point in time before the internet, so you're not like getting all these indies. You were just kind of like everybody was playing like the same sort of game. So I feel like that's why, like, as we're gonna get further and further into like especially the PlayStations in these lists, I feel like at a certain point we're gonna have to come up with rules to limit third party games because like by the time it hits PS3, I don't know. I feel like all the libraries outside of exclusives kind of just meld into one. So this is still one of those old classic consoles with pretty like full of exclusives and games a lot of people played. So
Yeah.
we will get it down. There were a good number of games that only had 5 points or less. So we will take them in chunks and we can talk about any of them that you guys want to talk about. So the games only had 1 point. So one person gave them 10th place. Racing Lagoon, Rayman, Tomb Raider, of course, who would guess who would wrote this one in? Looney Tunes Racing and Gex Enter the Gecko. Anything anybody wants to say about any of those?
Well, I'm actually a little bit surprised to see Tomb Raider not get a little bit more love. And maybe one of the sequels do. I'm not sure. But Tomb Raider is a classic PlayStation institution. I will say I have that new remastered collection that came out, and I do want to play that. That probably definitely seems like one of those games though that as a kid was great. But
Yeah.
trying to go back and play it now would be kind of a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I don't know that for sure. I'm just basing that off of how that controlled and just thinking about it. But yeah, so that one probably doesn't hold up as well. So not too surprising on that one. But yeah, shout out Tomb Raider. It was huge back in the day for PlayStation.
Yeah, no other Tomb Raider games got votes. I was surprised, but I was
That's
surprised because
shocker.
they were
That is
so
shocking.
famous. But I'm not that surprised because if you try to play them now, they are horrible. So I'm not like.
Who's the one person that voted for it?
I will look. I will look quickly.
I have actually never played any of those games. I've never played a Rayman game, which is crazy.
Same.
Tomb Raider we owned, but like I can never remember anyone putting it on our PS1 console, like ever. Like why
It
do we even
was
play this game?
Hobo Hiker, man. The only vote for any Tomb Raider.
Shout out Hobo Hiker, man. And then Gex Enter the Gecko. Gex is great too, but I mean Gex is weirdly to me more of like because I own this system, was a Panasonic 3DO game for me, and then it kind of came back on the Nintendo 64 with its fun games there. So I don't know why, I just always remember it more for those consoles. But Gex is great.
Is
So
Gex
shout out
Enter the Gecko the one that has like the James Bond style cover? Or is
Yes.
that okay? That's
Yeah,
the one I
that-
always wanted to play.
Yeah, it's so fun.
movies
You'll
or
have a
something.
blast when you play that one. You'll love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's one of those rare games that like it tries to be funny and it actually is. It's really good.
So the games that got 2 points were Legends of Legaia, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2000, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and Jumping Flash. Jumping Flash is like that first person platformer, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. I always wanted to try that.
Yeah, it was pretty atrocious from what I've heard. I've never
Yeah.
actually played that one, but yeah. Shout out Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and all the Oddworld games. I would have loved to include them. I just didn't have enough room on my list. But yeah, those games are classic and another when I think of PlayStation, that is definitely one that recalls to me because that's the type of game you couldn't do anywhere else at
Yeah.
that point in time. So those were really cool games.
I played a little bit of the remake of that one.
Yeah. Shout out to Legend of Legaia too. I really like that game a lot. That didn't make my list, but classic JRPG, and I really enjoyed it.
So the games that got 3 points: Moon Remix RPG Adventure, Legend of Dragoon, Ridge Racer, Lunar 2, Dexter's Laboratory, Mandark's Lab, and Croc.
It's
a nice
Ridge
interesting mix
Racer.
there.
Ridge Racer.
Shout out to Croc.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've always wanted to play Croc, and they just released a remaster of it, so I gotta play it.
We had the first 2 Croc games, Croc 1 and 2. Croc 1, very difficult to play. The controls are really bad. Croc 2 controls are still really bad, but a little bit easier.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember playing some of Croc 1. I don't think I ever played Croc 2. And there were so many better platformers, I thought, but
Yeah.
Shout out Croc.
I'm a
Classic
little.
tank controls.
Oh,
Very
God.
surprised to see Legend of Dragoon so low, but I'm also going to chalk that up to probably nobody has played it because I know you even haven't played it, Sean, which
No,
surprised me a little bit.
I've not played it. It's funny. It was one of the rare JRPGs we did not have on PlayStation 1. That we didn't have Lunar on PlayStation. Like I'm playing the Lunar Collection now, and I am shocked we didn't have this. I'm like, this was right up my alley. Like I'm surprised I didn't get it in like the early 2000s, and I'm surprised my dad didn't have it because it's right up his alley too.
They've been rumoring a Legend of Dragoon remake remaster forever, so I hope it happens so more people can experience that game. But yeah, great game. If I had a top 15, easily would have been in there. Just missed out on the top 10 though. But yeah, just a great game.
Out of this list, just gotta be Croc for me. I gotta play Croc.
No Dexter's Laboratory?
That one looks pretty awesome too. Actually, there was this like Powerpuff Girls game on PS1 that we played. I didn't vote for it though. I should have. It was like basically just Power Stone, but with Powerpuff Girls. And I wonder if Dexter's Lab is kind of a similar thing.
It sounds so fun. I love Power Stone.
We don't get the like obnoxious amount of like kids game tie-in like show games anymore. Or if we do, I just don't notice them. But I'm pretty sure they're all on mobile now.
The amount of fighting. I was gonna say the amount of fighting tie-in games they used to have. Like there was like that PS2, Xbox, um Tom and Jerry game. It was like
Yep.
something about Whisker. It was like something Whiskers. Game was awesome.
No Simpsons wrestling, I noticed either. So
No,
yeah,
no, that didn't get any votes. Was there also
didn't
like a,
make the cut.
a Simpsons skateboarding game? I remember playing
Yeah,
that at some point.
Probably,
yeah,
yeah.
there
They were
was.
really
Yeah,
pumping out licensed Simpsons games at this point. They were all really bad until Hit and Run and stuff like that
yeah.
finally turned the
It was
tide.
called Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. Is what I'm thinking of. That game was awesome.
I can very vividly remember a Game Informer ad for that, but I never played it. All right, with 4 points, Pac-Man World, Breath of Fire 4, and Final Fantasy 8 all had only 4 points.
That brings me so much joy that Final Fantasy VIII did not make that high of a list. That is the one Final Fantasy game, the one mainline Final Fantasy game that I actually do not enjoy going back to.
Oh, Sean, let's team up and hate on Final Fantasy VIII
It's
for a
so
few minutes.
bad.
Oh my god! So
First of all,
I'm finishing my Final Fantasy VII replay like right now. Like I'm almost at the end of it, the OG one, and Final Fantasy VIII is next for me, Sean. And oh my god, I am not excited for
skip,
this.
skip.
I wish I could, but I told myself I was going to do
Yeah.
all of them, and the junction system, it's so ass.
The junction, I'm not a fan of the characters. Like I like Squall, or if Kingdom Hearts fans, Leon. He's a better Kingdom Hearts character than he is a Final Fantasy
Yes,
character.
absolutely
So
is.
much better.
He
He
is.
is. People think Cloud is angsty. Oh my god, go play Final Fantasy VIII. Leon is Squall is super angsty. And yeah, the junction system I cannot stand. I hate the level scaling they do too in that game. That like really aggravates me.
That sucks.
And I think the world map is super boring, especially coming off Final Fantasy VII. Like
Yep.
compare that, it's so bad.
Yeah,
I
they
hate
tried to do
driving
something. They tried to do something a little bit more traditional with 8, and it just wasn't good. And then they corrected it with 9. 9 is fucking fantastic, but
that
8 is just no.
the
No go.
stupid car you get in 8. Oh, piss me off.
So you're saying I shouldn't make Final Fantasy 8 my next Final Fantasy game?
No,
But try it. You'll bounce
I-
off it quicker than you did 0. I promise you that.
I've never played any. Let me think that's true. I'm pretty sure, I've never played a Final Fantasy game that wasn't 7 related. So you're saying that 8 shouldn't be the first one I
no.
try.
Go play
No,
6.
you see, I can see you liking 9, but 8 is just not the way to go.
And then Pac-Man World, I like. I didn't play it on this console. I played it on the remake, but it's nothing like amazing, so I didn't even think about voting for it. But it's pretty fun. I like that game. And then with 5 points each, Wild Arms, Vagrant Story, Star Ocean: The Second Story, Ape Escape, and Toy Story 2. So there are multiple games in here I voted for, but Sean, you were sounding disappointed, so I'll let you go first.
All right, so Star Ocean: The Second Story was number 6 on my list. I'm a huge Star Ocean fan. It's one of my favorite series, and that is the best game in the series. The remake they just released, Star Ocean: The Second Story R, it actually wasn't just released; it was 2023, like November 2023. That is like a fantastic remake and does the series so much justice because it's like 2D HD, the one they released, and it's so good. But the original is freaking amazing. It made me fall in love with the Star Ocean series and sci-fi in general. And it was one of the first like JRPG like games that didn't rely on that was kind of like it combined fantasy and space like together, which like kind of blew my mind as a kid. So I really love that, and I'm so sad it didn't make that because the game was way ahead of its time too. There was so many optional party members. You had, I think, there's 12 total party members you can get, and like so many of them are just optional that you can just completely miss if you just like don't do certain things. There's multiple endings. There's 2 different protagonists you can play as. So like the game was super meaty. I loved it.
Star Ocean and Wild Arms have both been on my list to play forever, and unfortunately, I haven't played either of those games. So.
I've never played Wild Arms either.
Yeah, I've heard good things about both of them, Star Ocean especially. So that's it's something I would love to get the time to play one day. But yeah, I know I've heard great things about those games. But shout out Toy Story 2. Good poll.
Yeah.
Dude, that game is so good.
It was a really fun game. It's not on my top 10, but I appreciate that game, and good looking out for the people who voted for it.
Yep. So I put Toy Story 2 in my 10th spot. I loved that game. I think that you can very like when I like look back on it, like I can very clearly see the through line of things that I grew up enjoying and like became into now. Like it's very clear that I like Toy Story 2 because like I remember running around as Buzz in Andy's house and exploring the house and fighting, I just, you know me, I love the scale of something small in a real world environment, and so it's very clear that I went from liking this game to liking Chibi Robo. I mean, it's like a direct line. It's basically the same concept, but this game's like very action packed. I
Yeah.
love it.
Shout out to Toy Story 2. It's on the PlayStation collection on PS5.
Yeah, it
I got
is.
the platinum trophy and I went back and platinumed it. I freaking love it.
And then I put Ape Escape at 6. I really like Ape Escape. I think that the like unconventional controls are really fun, and like using all the gadgets with the right thumbstick, like spinning it around and using it to catch things, they're really fun. Like I didn't actually play the original one until it got ported to PS5, but it was not my favorite of the Ape Escape games, but I do really like it.
Yeah, that's a series that young Addy played when he was young. Didn't really like it because of the weird ass controls. Something I would like to go back to and try one day though, because I'm
Mm,
sure I'd like it a lot more now.
I've never played an Ape Escape game ever.
I would
Which
definitely.
again, I'm shocked we didn't have that. And I just want to do shout out to Breath of Fire 4. Didn't make my list. There was another Breath of Fire game on my list, but Breath of Fire 4 is really good. It's my second favorite Breath of Fire game.
Okay, what was your first favorite? Breath of Fire 3, which got 6 points, along with Twisted
Yes,
Metal 2 and Spyro
that
3.
Breath of Fire 3 was number 5 on my list. I'm shocked not more people. This is like regarded as like one of the best Breath of Fire games. I'm shocked. And Spyro 3 does not shock me because of the original trilogy, that was the weakest, but it's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong. It just that was the weakest.
Yeah, it's definitely buried quite a bit more than the other. It's tied a three-way tie for 29th place, and the other
Yeah.
ones are much higher up. But
Breath of Fire 3 should have got more votes.
Never heard of Breath of Fire, unfortunately, so I'll have
Oh
to
my
look into
god,
that.
the series is so good.
Copy paste this for all the Spyro games, but I do not like Spyro, so not
yeah,
on my list, not on
Okay.
my radar. And then what was the other one?
Twisted Metal 2.
Shadow Twisted Metal, man. Like I would have loved to vote for one of those games. I didn't. They're not on my list. Like one of them definitely would have made my top 15 or top 20 though. Good old vehicular combat though. That's kind of where it started with Twisted Metal. Those games were great.
I kind of want to go back and try them. The only I feel like it's weird to say that the only Twisted Metal game I ever played was the PS3 one, which apparently people don't like that game, I believe. But that's the only one I ever played, so it's kind of hard to say what I think about the series.
I think it was just. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I think it just wasn't as good as some of the early entries, and I know like it peaked a lot for like people really like what was it, Twisted Metal Black? I think for
Yeah.
Yeah,
PS2.
that's the
That one was
PS2
really
one, yeah.
popular, and people liked that one a lot. And the PS3 Twisted Metal kind of went in a very different direction from what I heard. So
My only experience with Twisted Metal, I did watch the show, which I did enjoy, but my only other experience with the games, I tried to play the PS3 version, got a copy from GameStop, came home, did not work in my PlayStation. Thinking it's the disc. Bring it back. They gave me another copy. Bring it in, put it on my PlayStation. Doesn't work again. They gave me another copy. Still doesn't work. I'm like, it's a sign. I'm not supposed to play Twisted Metal.
That's pretty annoying. I don't think I've ever had that happen before. So you were not allowed to play that game. That was just the end of it.
Correct. Yeah.
So we're still working through the games that only got single digit points. With 7 points, R4 Ridge Racer Type 4. That's a mouthful. And then with 7 points, only 2 people voted for it. And the two people around this podcast, Medieval, had 7 points.
heartbreaking. Medieval. Where to talk about that? I love that game so much.
Me too. I put it at 8 for myself.
I did it 7. Yeah, no, Medieval's fantastic. I mean, I was so glad it got that PS4 remake.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the last things Sean Layden greenlit, actually, because God, fucking Jim Ryan and his old bones wouldn't have done that one. But yeah, I adore Medieval. There's just so much unique. It just feels like a fun game. Like there's the atmosphere of that game. It's so unique for its time. And just I remember playing that on the OG PlayStation. I think I only had a demo for it at first, but just remembering being a little bit scared of it and finding out how difficult it was. And game was so good. Sir Daniel is still one of my favorite PlayStation characters, and I still hope to this day we'll get that Medieval 2 remake, even though I doubt it. But
yeah,
it's sad to see that it was just me and you voted for it. I'm not surprised though, because
I love it.
It's never been super popular.
It's a game. I guess I can kind of say I beat it multiple times. So I think I've said before, but I was not really a PlayStation person for the most part. And then when I had PS3 and PlayStation All Stars was coming out, what I would do was I would go play all the games for each character as they got announced. So they announced Sir Dan. I'm like, who the hell is this? So I ended up playing Medieval Resurrection. I think it was just the PSP port of this game. and that was good. I mean, it's the same game, so I really much like that. And then I also did play the PS4 remake, which was like amazingly well done. And I've never played Medieval 2. I like all those rumors were that they were going to make a remake of it, like you said, and I just don't think it's happening. So I think I might just play it at some point. I don't know, maybe like this spooky season. I'll boot up Medieval 2.
So yeah, I saw Sir Daniel in PlayStation All Stars and thought to myself, "Who is this?" That's the first time I ever heard of Medieval, and I just never played it. I never played the remake either on PS4. I do plan on it eventually, though.
Very much recommend. And there's not really that many games like it, like that exact. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
it's like a blending of a lot of different things. I'm not going to say you're going to play it and it's going to blow you away, but like that specific formula, there's some indie copies. There's a game called Pumpkin Jack that's basically the exact same thing, but it's
Oh,
really
I
just
played
kind of its
Pumpkin
own
Jack.
thing. Yeah. So
Yeah,
just,
if you like
that's
Pumpkin Jack, you'll like Medieval from what
Okay.
I've heard. So
all right. And then the last set of games that only got, oh no, sorry, there's 3 games that got 8 points: Tekken 3, Hot Shots Golf 2, and Gran Turismo 2.
Gran Turismo 2. So that was number 10 on my list. Just snuck in there with a point. I mean, I feel like it would be near sacrilege to not have a Gran Turismo game on my list because they're so iconic and important for PlayStation, and the brand and what they were able to do. I don't think there was ever a sim like racing game like that before Gran Turismo. And I remember just like going to like the different car shops and being able to shop and buy cars and like how cool that was. Like, going to the Ford dealership and looking at the Ford cars and like, I don't have enough money for this. I need to go like grind out some more money and like world tour or whatever and come back and get the car you wanted that looked cool. It was just a really, really unique concept for the time and so huge and influential in building the PlayStation brand. And I picked 2 just because it's a more improved version of 1 in almost every aspect. And yeah, just fantastic games.
My memories of Gran Turismo 2 are my dad's a huge GT fan. He loves Gran Turismo, all of them. He used to kick my butt in Gran Turismo all the time, where it was Gran Turismo 2 or 3. And even 2 was one of his favorite. It was his favorite Gran Turismo game for a while. And even after GT3 came out, he went back and played 2 all the time.
I've never played any of them.
They're really good.
I think I played so like I said, I ended up with a 360. So I had Forza Motorsport, which I know is like the Xbox equivalent, and I wouldn't say I loved that. I don't think that I'm like into cars enough to be into a sim racer. I think that's kind of my issue. Where I like an arcade, give me an arcade racer any day of the week. I'll love those.
Yeah, so Addi, I have a question for you about Gran Turismo. I have 2 actually. What's your favorite Gran Turismo game?
I mean, it probably honestly is Gran Turismo 2, just for the nostalgia of it. I do really, really like the newest one though on PS5, Gran Turismo 7. I think we're on. GT7 was fantastic. I only put about like 30 hours into it, but God, those were fun 30 hours, and I constantly want to go back to it, and I might at some point.
GT7's a great game. But did you ever play the PSP?
No, I never did. Was it any good?
Oh, it was. I freaking loved it because it was like portable GT, and me and my dad used to play it so much. We just passed the PSP back and forth and just go off and play it so much. It was sick. So good, but it got delayed so much because it was announced at the E3 press conference where they announced the PSP, and it didn't come out.
Yeah, I could see Gran Turismo working really well on a portable handheld. So that's sick.
It was awesome.
Then I've never played this one, but Hot Shots Golf 2. I really like Hot Shots. Well, it's called Everybody's Golf on the PS4 entry. That's the only one I've played, but I definitely want to go back and try Hot Shots Golf PS1 games because I'm sure I'd like them.
I played the PSP Hot Shots Golf around the launch of the console. It was freaking awesome.
They're making another one, but I'm pretty sure Sony doesn't have the license anymore or whatever, right? I don't think it's even a Sony franchise anymore. Then the last game that got one single digit votes was Crash Bandicoot 3. With
Doesn't
9
shock
points.
me again. It's the weakest of the original trilogy.
Yeah,
Still
I'm with you. It's a good game,
but
it's the worst of the 3 in my opinion trilogy. Pretty easily actually, but it's good. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, like they kind of blend together for me a little bit, but 3 is the one that kind of has a lot more like gimmicky stuff going on.
A lot of vehicle levels.
Vehicles. It was still really fun. Still really cool level design. Like really cool concept. with like going back in time and going, ancient Egypt, going to the pyramids and all that. Like I thought it was really cool, running from dinosaurs. Just the weakest, and we know I'm a huge Crash Bandicoot fan, so it's like that's a
Yeah,
lot for
no,
me
I
to say.
agree.
All right. So that's a good portion of the games. Now we still have our top 10 and 12 other games that got double-digit points.
Okay.
So there are 2 games, kind of fittingly, had 10 points each: Crash Team Racing and
So are
Crash
these in the
Bash.
top 10? Sorry, or
So the
no?
Crash
Ooh.
Bandicoot spin. No, so this is
20,
tied
okay,
for
21st.
21st
Okay, thank you.
place. So Crash Bash and Crash Team Racing, the 2 Crash Bandicoot spin-offs.
Okay. Crash Team Racing was number 7 on my list. It is the best kart racer I've ever played. The remake is technically the remake is the best kart racer I've ever played, but the original Crash Team Racing is phenomenal. Insanely awesome adventure mode. So many cool different maps. So much more skill based than Mario Kart. I freaking love Crash Team Racing so much. The remake blows it out of the water. There's no reason to play the original, but I have so many memories of playing this. We had the multi tap, so we'd play like 4-player Crash Team Racing, do battle mode, do all the different races. Adventure mode was a constant staple. I would always be tiny. And Crash Bash, I Anna, I have a weird relationship with Crash Bash because I really loved it when I first played it. And then I went back and played it in like 2008, 2009, and I hated it. But then again, I went back when I was in college and I really liked it again. So it definitely has its flaws though. It's definitely like not a good party game, but I remember liking it.
I was always more of a Diddy Kong
I
Racing kind of guy. So Crash Team Racing never did much for me in that regard. Even the remake, I did try to play the remake. I like it. I would prefer, me, I'm not a Nintendo guy, but I would prefer Mario Kart any day of the week. I really like Mario Kart. Crash Bash, never played. Couldn't tell you anything about it. I am surprised to see it tied with Crash Team Racing though, because I think Crash Team Racing
I
is
am
way
shocked
more
that Crash
popular.
Bash had
So
this many
yeah.
votes. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the Crash Team Racing remake. I never played it on PS1. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Sometimes I think about going back to it, but my friend and I both had it around launch, and we each beat the single player, and then we were like, all right, let's go online together. And we always came in like last and second to last. I'm like, okay, this is just not my game.
It's funny you say that because I was part of like the official Crash Team Racing online racing league and rankings, and I was ranked in the top 50 in the world in the game. I
Yeah,
freaking love it. I played
that's
so many. I put over 1,000 hours in that game.
oh my god. Yeah, no,
I was one of those people who would like always finish first place. Oh my god, it was so much
yeah,
fun.
and I was one of those people
Uh,
that always finished
Shout out
last.
for
So then I
no
stopped
PC
playing.
release, lolly. Uh-huh.
And Crash
Shout out to
Bash
Small Norm. Shout out to Small Norm. He's my favorite character.
so Crash Bash is just a worse Mario Party, and Mario Party's already bad, so I
It's
never
it's
tried.
not Mario. It's not
Oh,
it's not
okay.
even close to Mario Party. Not even close. It's like it is like set up like a regular Crash game with warp rooms and stuff. And the mini games are not like they're not like mini games. It's like more of like a party game. Like you have like I don't even know how to explain it. It's really it's one of those things you just have to play.
We'll have a game night. We'll all play Crash Bash.
Yeah.
All right. In 19, tied for 19th place. 2 games at 11 points. One of them I voted for. Grandia and Parappa the
Oh, I
Rapper.
voted for Parappa too.
Ooh.
Sad.
Me too. Not a lot of votes for Parappa. It was only 3 of us that voted for it, but I
I've
really,
never
really
played
like
it.
Parappa. Even though
Never.
like now, like when you try to play, it's like, wow, the timing is pretty
It is.
hard to get used to because it's not really very good. And what I heard that like the PSP port, like they did not like make the timing work, so like it's even harder on the
Yeah.
ports because of that. But it's a fun game. I
Well,
like
I
the
just
idea.
That's a game I'm shocked they didn't release like a play when PSVR came out. Like there's not a PSVR Parappa game. I'm
yeah, it seems like
shocked.
it'd be a pretty easy W. That was one of those games that I had a demo for, and I played it so much. I remember the demo still. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find. And like that's just like ingrained in my head from playing that demo so much. But yeah, I think I played
It's
Parappa ninth. Had to sneak it on there. What's
yeah,
that?
so did I. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
so
it ninth also, and then someone else had it
I
like
had to
higher,
sneak it
so
on
that's how
there.
I got up
It's
here.
a great game, and shout out the sequel, Unjammer Lammy, which is also a lot of
Yes,
fun too.
it didn't get any votes. I thought about it. I didn't want to have both of them, so I went with Parappa. But yeah, that one's also fun. That one you play the
Yeah,
guitar instead of rapping.
I was the one who voted for Grandia. Grandia was number 10 on my list. It's my least favorite of the Grandia series, but I really like this. This game was really a fun PlayStation 1 JRPG. It was one of those games that you could one of the first games I remember where if you like hit the enemy in the overworld, because like you could see the enemies in the overworld, you got like an advantage in battle. You could get like +1 HP or +2 magic points for the battle. I really liked it. It was really fun. Turn-based RPG, a lot of different characters, like huge amount of characters, and the world is really cool. But 2 and 3 are much better.
Shout out to Arcity. He put it at 5, and that's how it got up so high.
Good.
All right, in 18th place, another Sean game, 13 points, Suikoden 2.
Oof. Number 3 on my list. I am a huge Suikoden fan. All of the games in the series are really good. Suikoden has a huge cast of party members. It's what makes it really sells it for me. And it's not like, oh, we have so many party members, but they're all like an inch deep. No, they are like a foot deep. You get really invested into your party. You get really invested into the lore of the world. Super fun combat, super interesting overworld. I'm sad that it's not in the top 10, but it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone. And the remake of 1 and 2 just came out, the little collection. Not really a remake, more just like a remaster of the original, like upscaling stuff. I highly suggest it to everyone.
You know who else is a big fan of that game series, Sean? Darkside Phil.
Who?
We got DSP's support on that one.
Oh, good. Thank you. Just what I wanted.
I've never actually played those games, but I was watching
really
some of his
good.
begging.
If you want to,
yeah, it looks fun. They look great. They look like great classic RPGs, so they look like a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, and Granny is really good too, like I said.
All right, and then tied in 16th place with 14 points each, 2 games that are pretty famous, Chrono Cross and Silent Hill.
Oh, so Silent Hill didn't make the top 10. I'm very surprised. I actually had Silent Hill at 4. So let me praise this game for a little bit. But Silent Hill is one of my favorite games of all time for sure. It's not in my top 55 list, which I just recently recompleted. But if I had a top 70, it would be there for sure. I think it's fantastic. I think it holds up really well. I think it's scary. I think it's eerie. I think it's just terrifying at times. I think it ushered in a whole new survival horror genre type of thing. I think what Resident Evil is, and I think Resident Evil 1 and 2 are definitely scary as well, especially back then on PlayStation. But Silent Hill was definitely the scarier one for me. They always were. Resident Evil was always a little bit more campy, a little bit more fun, even though back then it was scary. Silent Hill though was definitely the one that got under your skin and just really made you wary of everything. But yeah, that game's fantastic. I just finished replaying it last year, the year before. I don't remember, but I actually replayed it on Steam Deck. I was emulating the PlayStation version. And yeah, it ran great. And it was such a great treat to go back to that game. I love that game. I think it's better than any of those early PlayStation Resident Evil games, in my opinion, which might be a hot take, I assume. Resident Evil 2 will be higher on this list, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, I love Silent Hill.
I've never played Silent Hill.
You gotta play it. It's so good, Sean.
I played 2, and I plan on playing 1. I just haven't got there quite yet. But yeah, I really want to play that. And Chrono Cross, I just feel like that's a game I've heard people talk about, but I couldn't tell you one single thing about it.
Yeah, it's really... I haven't played it either.
Cross.
I finished Chrono Trigger recently. I liked it. I don't love it. I like it. So I think I'll have a lot better chance of enjoying Chrono Cross, because I know a lot of people who don't like Chrono Cross are like huge Chrono Trigger fans and absolutely love that game. And I definitely wasn't that in love with Chrono Trigger. So I'm excited to give Chrono Cross a shot. I know Cosine really likes it a lot. So I'll give it a shot at some point.
I want to give it a shot too. Chrono Trigger, I was pretty late to Chrono Trigger. Like I didn't play it till like the mid 2000s, like 2006, 2007. But I'm of those people. It's a really good game, but I think it's extremely overrated. With like people think it's like the greatest thing ever, and I'm like, okay, so it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like the greatest thing ever. So I do want to play Chrono Cross eventually. I'm still holding out hope. Eventually, we get like some like 2D HD collection of these games, or some like I don't even know, maybe a remake of both games together. That'd be awesome.
All right, and number 15 with appropriately 15 points. I'm shocked it got this high, but I'm kind of happy it did. Is Neversoft Spider-Man. Great, I love this game. I mean, I put it at 4, but I wasn't the only one. Someone shout out to Connor. He also put it at 4, which is how it got all the way up here.
I'm actually surprised it didn't do better. It's a pretty well regarded PlayStation 1 game, so it's great. It just missed my list, but that is a great Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I'm just surprised. Like look at the stuff, like some of the stuff we've been talking about. Like it beat Silent Hill. I'm like, wow, that's kind of shocking to me. But it's a great game. This is, like I said, I had a PS2 and I didn't have a memory card, so I would start this game over. So I could probably say, like, as a kid, I only beat it maybe once, and I would just play the first like few stages where you're like doing the bank robbery and then swinging to the Daily Bugle to stop Scorpion from killing J. Jonah Jameson, and then you like chase Venom around. Like that part of the game, I played like dozens and dozens of times. And I feel like this is like where my like love of Spider-Man really came from, was playing this game. And yeah, it's just really cool. He has a fun move set. It's really funny to play now because like your webs just like stick to the sky, like no buildings or anything. The entire city is full of smoke because they didn't want to like render any buildings. But it's an awesome game. And then there is a sequel, but I don't really remember it quite as well
Yeah,
as
it's
the
not
first one.
it's not as good.
I remember thinking it was so cool that you could like just put webbing on your hands and that would make you stronger to punch people. I'm not really sure why that's how it works, but awesome game. And then number 14 with 17 points was Spyro the Dragon 1. I know how Addi feels about this, but how about you, Sean?
It's a good game. I think Spyro 2 is much improved on it. Spyro 1, when you go back to it, it's really
Simple. It's very simple.
It's very simple and it's very strange. Like the plot is really strange. There's like no like cutscenes like in between anything. It's really odd when you go back and play it. Like
Yeah,
story wise.
I didn't vote for Spyro 1, but I do very much like these games. So we can kind of save that talk for later because Spyro 2 will be coming up in a little while.
And the level design of Spyro 1 is very much like a lot of the levels are like cut and paste. They just change like kind of like the art style and stuff.
Spyro ahead of Silent Hill. Seek Jesus, all of you, please.
Speaking in 2 not making the top 10, that's a problem.
All right, so number 13 with 18 points. As you can see, they're kind of all very close. We got 20, 19, 18, 17, 15, 14. They're all very close up here. So number 13 with 18 points was Parasite Eve.
Yeah, I figured. I'm actually surprised it's this high, to be honest with you. I didn't think it would make the top 10, so to be this close is great. I had Parasite Eve at 5. Just a great game. Great game. It's I really wish Square would do something like this again. It feels like such a cool hybrid between different types of games they wanted to make at the time. It's another one of those games that like only could have been made on PlayStation at the time. It's very similar to like, it feels like it kind of controls like a Resident Evil game, but it's a lot more action packed than that. Great characters, great interesting story. If you've never played this game, it's so unique. Go out there and give it a shot and give it a chance. I don't know. I forget if it's playable now on anything. Like if it's, I don't know if it's in the PlayStation 5 store or whatever, but if you need to emulate it,
you can play it on PS3 on the from the PS1
man, it's so
Classic.
disgustingly hard to play.
If you can get
it's so disgustingly hard to play, but like even if you need to emulate it, play the game because it's so good. And I wish Square would do something with this franchise because it's fucking cool. It's a shame they're not.
Never played it. I
think you'd really like it, Sean. It seems like it's up your alley. It's good shit.
And then number 12 with 19 points is the original Resident Evil 1. It got up this high because I had it at number 1, which maybe is controversial, but
this
is
your number
really,
1
really
overall?
the first Resident Evil game.
Oh wow!
Yep,
okay.
It was. I played this quite a bit. I very much like Resident Evil 2, but like I said, I only put 1 per franchise. But Resident Evil 1 is the one that I played the most of these classics. Like I've only played Resident Evil 2 and 3 one time each on PS1. But Resident Evil 1, it's a bit of a cop out, but because I didn't play the PS1 version, but I don't know if you remember, but they released Resident Evil Deadly Silence on Nintendo DS, and it was just a port of Resident Evil for PS1. So I played that version probably like 10 times. And then I played the PS1 version like 2 or 3 times on PS3. So I don't know what
the GameCube version.
Yep, I've played like every version of Resident Evil 1. I just very much like the setting of 1. I know that like the police station 2 is really iconic, but I just very much like the original mansion. And I think the campy horror stuff is just like so funny to me. I think that's partially why I like it so much. It's definitely not particularly scary, but the campiness factor is just like so funny to me that I just can't help but put it at 1 for myself.
1's high.
And the
Yeah, the
opening
opening
cutscene's
cutscene's
so good.
fantastic. No, Resident Evil 1's great. I think the only thing for me, and I have two on my list, which I'm sure we'll talk about eventually here. So I didn't include one. I think for me, the one remake is so good, so fucking good. It kind of just
Yes. Yes.
renders me ever going back to play one. Never, never. There's no reason I would ever do that when that remake exists. And here's my hot take. I love the Resident Evil 2 remake. I think it's great, but I could definitely see myself going back and playing Resident Evil 2 on PlayStation 1 because there's something about that game that's so classic to me. So I would still go back and check that out.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if I would do that with Resident Evil 1 other than that opening cutscene because, God, that opening cutscene's fucking great.
It's so funny. It's just so good. I just love the voice acting, and yeah, I love old Resident Evil games. It's one of those. It's like something that I find it very odd because it's not like I grew up with this console or this game. Like I didn't remember playing. I mean, granted, I played it in probably middle school, but it's like I wasn't playing it as a small child. But I just never ever had issues with tank controls in like the Resident Evil games. So that's not even
I
a
agree.
detriment to me. I've never
I
had
agree.
any
Shout out
issue
tank
with them.
controls.
But I feel like they're good in that genre. Like with like the idea of playing like Tomb Raider with tank controls or Croc with tank controls, that sounds horrible.
Dude,
but for whatever reason, like Resident Evil, I'm like, okay, I feel like I actually enjoy that.
All right, shot out of a cannon. Jill or Chris?
Oh, Jill sandwich
Jill.
for sure.
Jill
Thank you. Put
Jill
it on the board. Jill.
She's the best. And then I like how in that game it's very subtle, but like how it's like a little bit different when you play as the two different people.
Yeah.
Not just as like a simple palette.
I do
swap.
love Chris though. Don't get me wrong. No, nothing but love for Chris.
And then number 11 with 20 points, so one more than Resident Evil 1 and one less from making it into the top 10 is Final Fantasy 9.
Fuck, I feel bad because I'm the one that really left this off because I didn't put it on my list.
So as I mentioned pre-recording, I am the big proponent of one game per franchise, but I did not do that for PS1. I put multiple games per franchise. Final Fantasy IX was number 4 on my list. Obviously not as high as my favorite Final Fantasy game, but I love Final Fantasy IX. It is like a throwback to, it was like, once we got to Final Fantasy 7 and 8, it was so different than the, Final Fantasy 1 through 6 that we knew. This brought back like the classic, classes. You got your black mage and the chibi art style. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 9, and I'm really hoping that remake that leaked in that document from years ago is eventually true. But even if they don't remake it, the original holds up so well. It is so much better than Final Fantasy 8 as well. So yeah, Final Fantasy 9. Good game.
I don't trust people who say Final Fantasy 8 is better than 9. Those people are weird and they're wrong. 9 is just classic Final Fantasy, like you said. It basically harkens back to 1 through 6. Especially, having played the 1 through 6 pixel remasters, you definitely see all that influence is bleeding in 9, and I can't wait to fucking replay that one. Like replaying 8 is like eating my vegetables, and then 9 is like getting to the meat finally, which I can't wait for. But 9 is such a classic, Sean. I love that game so much, and like I said, I wish I could have put it in my top 10, but I had that one per thing I was doing. So that's why it's not there. I'm sorry I missed it on the top 10, but it absolutely deserves to be there. It's a classic game.
Even compared to like Final Fantasy 7 and 8, like 7 and 8 are so dark in terms of lighting, not even story wise, but just in terms of like lighting, like all the areas. 9, every area is so well, so well lit. Like the towns are well lit. It's so different compared to like Midgar. Like there's no area like Midgar.
Yeah, they definitely made a conscious decision to be like, okay, we had fun with 7 and 8 and doing this kind of dark and brooding stuff. Let's get back to the classics for our game, and it worked out well. Yeah. It's so good.
All right, now we're here, the top 10, and again, these are all the ones at the bottom of the top 10 are pretty close in votes. One vote could have changed everything. So in number 10 with 21 points is Resident Evil 2. So we already talked a little bit about this, but Addi, why do you like Resident Evil 2?
So I had it at 6. So I kind of explained a little bit, but this game is just iconic, and I feel like you could go back and play it even with the remake. There's so much good stuff in this game. The police station I think is just iconic. I think it's one of the best opening areas kind of in a video game ever. I think it's so cool. You get Leon, of course, and probably the most popular and famous Resident Evil character. This is his humble beginnings here in Resident Evil 2, where he's still learning the ropes and not quite destroying an entire community by his own hands yet, as he would in Resident Evil 4. But yeah, there's just so much. I think this game is scary. I think it's the scariest Resident Evil game they've made, besides maybe 7. You can argue that, but 2 is definitely very creepy. I think it still holds up and is still very scary even today. So it's my favorite of the Resident Evil games on PlayStation for sure. I do think 1 is great too, though, like I mentioned, and 3 has its issues. It's kind of the start to a different shift of Resident Evil, but it's still fun. But definitely 2 for me was the best one. I ranked this 6th on my list. It's not quite up there with Silent Hill and Parasite Eve for me, which are kind of similar, style of games. But it's a great game, and I'm glad to see it make the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, I definitely assumed this would be up there. That's also partially why I'm like, I'm going to go 1 over 2, because I knew 2 would get up here all on its own without my help. So I'd love to replay this at some point. And Sean, have you not ever played any of these old Resident Evil games?
I played 1 through 4 for the first time in October of 2023, but I played the 2 remake. We had the Resident Evil is my dad's favorite franchise of all time, so we had all these games, but I never played them, and I didn't have any interest when I got a little bit older in them. And my dad used to like yell at me like all the time to play them. So when I finally did, he was really happy. And I'm gonna eventually play 5, 6, and 7, and I do want to go back and just experience the PS1 version just to see the differences.
It's
Did
very
anyone have
different,
Resident Evil
for
2
sure.
number 1, or what was its highest place? I'm curious.
I can look up that up while we talk about the next game, because I have nothing to say about it. With number 9, with 22 points, Final Fantasy
I have nothing to say
Tactics.
either.
Good. I'm not the biggest tactic RPG guy, which is a big reason why I'm not so much into Fire Emblem, which is why which is why it was so good that I've liked Fire Emblem Three Houses so much. But I'm not the biggest tactics RPG guy, so Final Fantasy Tactics, although I love the franchise, is like not not a game I love. Like I didn't even play the GBA. Like didn't they have the Final Fantasy Tactics Advance? Like I didn't even get that like when it came out.
This is actually
And
one that I might like, because I do like tactics much more than I
yeah,
like most other RPG types.
you
So
probably would like it. It's very different than
I would
traditional
say I
Final
would like
Fantasy.
to try this game one day, but it's just tactics are such a hard sell for me, so I don't know.
I'm not like it's still a good game, but like if from in terms of tactics based gameplay and tactics based games in general, I think Fire Emblem is a lot better, and that's coming from the one of the biggest Final Fantasy fans, I would say.
and then to wrap it back around, Resident Evil 2 did not get any first place votes, but it had a couple fours, and Sam
Okay,
put it
cool.
at 2. So that's how I got a lot of points. Straw would be mad, because I'm pretty sure he likes Final Fantasy Tactics a lot, and we have
Yeah,
nothing
Oh, he
I think
against
does.
he's the
him.
Yeah, he
tactics guy.
does.
Like I said, I would like to try this game one day, but we'll see.
I love tactics games, but not this one.
What is really cool about the tactics is like they they have all the different classes from all the different Final Fantasy games and all the different art styles. It is really cool. It is really cool to look at.
Straw Hat actually did not vote for this, so he must not have played this game before.
Maybe he likes the advanced version.
Yeah. All right, and then number 8 with 24 points is Xenogears. Another game I've never played
Unfortunately,
and don't know
same.
anything about.
I've wanted to play this game. I actually think I might have played the demo when I was younger, but that was it. I just played a little bit of it. It looks cool though. Even me, not as a mecha guy, it looked interesting. But yeah, no, never played it.
Un- Unfortunately, the only Xeno games I've played are the superior Xenoblade games.
Ooh, I mean, Sam only played Xenoblade 1, but sorry to all the voters of number 8, Xenogears. They have nothing to contribute whatsoever.
Yeah, I was big into mechs too. Like I like mechs, and I was like huge. We just didn't. That's the problem with the PS1. A lot of it was by the time I could like buy games and ask for games, it was already the PS2 era. So I was basically just playing the games my dad bought, and he likes mechs. I'm shocked we didn't have it, but it just probably was one of those things he just didn't get.
All you Xenogears, feel free to write in and tell us how stupid we were for not playing the game.
And then tell me Xenoblade is better. Thank you.
All right, and number 7 with one extra point, 25 points, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Now this is a banger. This is a banger. I gotta admit though, I didn't vote for it because I never played it originally on a PS1. I have only played the remake that they did for PS4, so I felt like fake
Same.
voting for it. But I mean, it's an amazing game.
The only Tony Hawk games I played prior to that remake were Pro Skater 3,
Yep.
a little bit of Pro Skater 4, and American Wasteland. But then I played the remake and really liked it, so I'm excited for 3 and 4 remake.
Yeah, I very much like 3 was like pretty much the same. 3 was my first one on PS2, and then I
Playing
had
as
Underground 1 and 2, and then American Wasteland and Project 8. Like I had pretty much all of them after 3 except for 4. But yeah, so Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 I did not really play until the remakes.
dude, cannot wait to play the 3 remake. If only they could still give us the cheat codes, we could play as Darth Maul.
That would be awesome. I don't think that will, but it'll be
I'm
awesome.
just not a fan of these skateboarding games. Like I think they're okay, but they would never be in a top list for me. I did play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, but I played it on a Nintendo 64. So I actually played the PlayStation version. And yeah, I think they're fun, but they're just, not for me.
I mean, they were definitely uh, probably one of the most. It has to be one of the top selling PlayStation games, right? I mean, these were very, very, very popular at the time.
Oh yeah, super pop. People think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is like one of the greatest games ever. People say.
And then there's a jump. So those all 25, 24, 22, and 21 points for those four. But then number 6 has 37 points. Actually, oh my, I didn't even notice. There's a tie for 5th. There isn't a 6th place. There's 2 games in 5th place. Pretty appropriate actually that there's a tie. So the 2 games in 5th place are Spyro 2 and Crash Bandicoot 1.
Ooh, okay. So both were on my list at number 8 and 9. I think Crash Bandicoot 1's freaking awesome. I love the difficulty in Crash Bandicoot 1. I think it is so much fun. It is definitely other than Crash 4, it is definitely the hardest game to 100% complete. I've done it multiple times. I do it all the time, actually. I've gone back and done it almost every year. The remake is awesome too. I prefer the remake, but the original is so much fun. I have so many fond memories of playing these games. Like me and my sister would play it all the time. My dad would play it all the time. We'd just go back and forth handing the controller off. Really cool level design. It is definitely in terms of control wise, the more difficult Crash games. Again, you don't have the double jump, you don't have any like power ups, you don't have like the slide mechanic. But the level design is really cool. I really love the overworld map too, like going across the island and stuff. Really, really great game. And Spyro 2, best Spyro game in my opinion. Ripto's Rage, awesome level design. Introduced some cool characters. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to Ripto too. Ripto is such a cool villain, and he comes back a lot in the Spyro series. And this was the first game that kind of introduced each level has like different like objectives. Like in this game, you get orbs, you get the talismans. Really cool. 3 different overworlds to go to. Really cool. I love Spyro 2.
Yes. So I had Spyro 2 at 3. So that was definitely like the standout one of the trilogy. And I'm pretty sure that's also the one where they introduced like alternate objectives in the
Yeah,
levels, right?
that was the orbs. The orbs. The
Yeah, like the
alternate
orb.
objectives we
Right,
get in
right,
the
yeah.
orbs.
So
Yeah.
like it adds more variety, definitely more expansive. And I just like that formula. I know we have a lot of Spyro haters in the Discord, so and I get it because it's really not that complex. But it's I don't know, something about those. They're just like pure like collectathon. So that's why I
Yeah,
like those.
and the level design of Spyro 2, like all the different levels were so cool. Like so much different variety too. I really liked it. And each level had like their unique character. Like you talk to the character, you find out what's wrong with them. Yeah, overall really cool. And shout out to Moneybags. Moneybags from this game.
And then Crash 1 I didn't have. I have Crash 2 on my list, but I Crash is interesting. Like I don't hold Crash Bandicoot in as high a regard as a lot of people do. I think it's just because I didn't play Crash Bandicoot 1 until like the PS4 was out. Like I remember
Mhm.
I bought it on PS3 like post PS4 launch and I played it there for the first time. And I like Crash 1 quite a bit. I mean, I think it's very good. It just I don't have a lot of nostalgia for it. So I don't hold it as high up as a lot of people do, even though
Oh,
I do like 1 and 2
I love
Al
it
especially.
so much.
Al
I
is
love it
sending a
so
drone
much.
strike to your house right now. Uh,
I know. And I like it though, but he's not one of my favorites.
so
He's not
yeah,
one of my
Crash 2
goats.
is on my list, so I didn't have Crash 1 on my list. But
Crash 2
Crash
is
1
also
would
one
be in
of
my top 15 for sure. It's a great game. I think the bridge level is one of the most classic levels, and
I freaking love those two bridge levels
it's
are
classic,
amazing.
man. It's iconic. It's great. Um,
Tell me you've done the cheat. You've done like the
and
hack
it's
where
even
you run on the
harder.
side.
It's
Like
harder,
you
but
run.
yeah.
Yeah. That's how you speed run it though. That's
Yeah.
how you speed run it and
Oh,
get the
for
gold
sure.
talisman.
So no, those games are the
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot's great. I love it. I think it's a great start to the series. And then replaying the remake was great too. So those games are so good. But yeah, the first one I think they had a home run, and it was pretty clear right from the beginning. You know, me, the biggest Naughty Dog fan, I think in our Discord easily. Um, you know, I think right from the beginning you could see how much talent was at Naughty Dog.
And shout out to some of my one of my favorite levels of all time. That is the Lost City in Crash Bandicoot 1. That level is super long. I freaking love it. It is so good.
They're on my list to replay all of them again. I want to give them all another play.
I replay them every year.
Now, number 4, I think, is like one of the biggest sins that I can imagine. Like one of my biggest gaming sins that I've never played this game. And it's number 4 is Symphony of the Night with
Oh,
47 points. It just missed out on number
that's a shame. I
3.
had it, so I had it at number
But yeah,
3. When you talk about PlayStation, you know, to me, anyways, and everyone's gonna have a different answer, obviously, but the big 3 to me are Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Those are just always the big 3. And I'll be honest, Symphony of the Night was late for me too. I didn't get till Symphony of the Night until when was it? 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. And I downloaded a PS1 ROM. I played it on Steam Deck, and classic though PlayStation version. And man, the game does not feel like it's aged a fucking day. Like it is so immaculate in its art style and how it plays. It's hard as hell, but it's so much fun to play. Amazing boss fights. Like, I mean, this is if you want to talk about, like, it's probably my favorite Metroidvania of all time. Like, I don't question that now. I love Super Metroid too, but I think this is just the king. And you know, I would love like the what this managed to do for that genre and the things it inspired going forward is nothing sort of brilliant. So yeah, I love Symphony of the Night. I'm a big fan of this game now. I wish I could have claimed it early on, but it's just one I never got to early, unfortunately. But I've definitely seen the light in later years, and I understand all the praise and hype it gets. It's just such a fantastic game.
Wow, this is crazy. I've never played a Castlevania game. The only Castlevania experience I have is when they did the Dead Cells. Like they did the Dead Cells thing, and that's it. But I need to play this game. Like it is right up my alley because I love Metroidvanias, but I've never played it.
yeah, I've played. Trying to think, I've played like actually a decent amount of Metroid games. I'm not sorry, not Metroid games. I played a lot of Metroid games. I played a lot of like a good amount of Castlevania games, but the thing is, I've never played a Metroidvania Castlevania game. You know, like I played one, and then do people like three? I had the
Which one's
collection.
Two.
Simon's Quest?
That's two, and people
Okay.
don't like that one, right? But they like three, or they like. I can't remember. I know I played one, and then I played four, and a couple other ones on the collection. So I played a lot of the 2D. I played one Castlevania Bloodlines, and then I played Castlevania 3, and I played Castlevania 4. So I played like a lot of just like the straight up side scroller ones, but I've never played one of the actual Metroidvania Castlevania games. So it's like the whole genre is named Metroidvania, but I've only played one half of the name. So at some point I need to try out these Castlevania games, but I feel like Symphony of Night is the one I should start with. But it's also the one that is not available to play anywhere other than on PlayStation or emulating.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's baffling to me that
I'm
it's not on
excited for you guys
Switch.
to try it eventually. It's so good, and
It's on
yeah, and
my
I need
list
to
to
play
play.
Rondo of Blood too. I've heard Rondo of Blood is fantastic, and
I
yeah,
played that one.
yeah, I
That
feel
one's really good.
it's yeah.
I think
So
I
I
played that one.
think Symphony of the Night will be right up your alley. Then it'll be exciting when you get to it.
So then number 3 with 49 points, so just 2 points more, is Crash 2, which we started talking about.
Woo! Crash Bandicoot 2 was originally my favorite Crash game until Crash 4, but Crash Bandicoot 2 is such a good game. The warp room, this introduced like the warp room idea. It introduced one of our favorite characters, Coco. The level design is amazing. It also introduced Polar. Riding Polar is so much fun. I remember running away from the giant polar bear on Polar, like was awesome because up until that point you were just running away as regular Crash. Super cool levels, like so many like so many different. This is also like one of the first like theme levels, so like you'd have like 3 or 4 levels like themed after something. Really cool. It introduced power-ups after you won. Also introduced Tiny the Tiger, Jetpack Crash, which I had a toy of. Also like the jet ski, not jet ski, but like the like the water board. It's like not a jet ski, but it's like almost like a surfboard, but he's like riding it with like jets on the
Yeah.
back. Like I had that toy as well. Super cool. I freaking love this. Those bees, remember, those bees levels, like Bee Haven was one of the levels called, and the bees could like come and sting you. I just love this game so much.
Yeah, Crash 2 is great. I had it at 8 on my list. I thought it's definitely my favorite of the Crash games. I think even including 4. I do like 4 a lot, but 4 is great. But I still think 2 is my favorite. It holds up so well. It's just everything you would want. Like, it takes Crash
Yep.
1 and just expands on that in every meaningful way. Makes it
To the nth, takes it to the
yeah,
nth
yeah,
degree.
exactly. To the nth degree, makes it bigger, better, more fun stuff to do. A couple of the gimmicks start to get introduced, but they're all really fun still, and they don't overload it with them. Yeah, I think this is speaking of who I mentioned the other just a few minutes ago. I think this is one of Al's favorite games of all time, if not his favorite. I mean, he loves this game, so he'll be happy with it being this high. But it definitely deserves the love. I think it's one of the better, platform games I've ever played personally. And yeah, I'm glad to see it so good. Where did you have it on your list, Sean? Number 2.
I had
yeah.
it number 2.
Yeah.
I had it at 7, so this was definitely the one I remember liking the most. But yeah, like I said, I want to try all these again. So how come Naughty Dog?
Hang on.
How come Naughty Dog did? They expanded Crash and made it better for 2. They expanded Uncharted and made it better for 2. But why did they do what they did to Jack? Why did they make it so much worse?
All right, buddy. All right.
That's enough.
Yeah,
I thought he was
me
going
too,
somewhere
actually.
else. I thought he was
And that would have
going
been
somewhere
bad too.
else.
No, the Jack games are great. We will not be tarnishing the legend of the great Jack.
No Jack
Jack
tarnish.
is fantastic. All of them.
I have a question though. Everybody, favorite Crash Bandicoot villain? I got mine.
I like I don't remember that. I'm not as big enough a fan, so I don't remember all their names.
Describe them, and I'll tell
Ripperoo,
you.
man.
Or we will.
I like
Ripperoo.
Oh,
is what I was
Ripperoo's
gonna say.
freaking the best. That is the answer.
Ripperoo
Thank
is so
you.
iconic, man. Like, I mean, just his design and how funny he is. Like, I mean, it's got to be Ripper, right? He's so awesome.
Dude,
Yeah, and he was
the
even
best-
playable in Crash
Yeah.
Team Rumble.
which we played, Parrott. Remember
Yeah,
we played it?
I actually
Yep.
quite liked that game, but we'll save that.
I liked it too. I got the
save that
platinum.
for the Crash Bandicoot episode at some point.
Best thing about Ripperoo and Crash Team Racing, he drives and he's in a
Yes.
straitjacket and he can't use his arms. It's the
he's
greatest.
He's great. I love his design. It's fantastic.
All right, so we're up to our top 2, and these were not particularly close. So Crash 2 had 49 points, and our number 2 game had 90 points.
Big jump.
So pretty big jump. So number 2, it was a battle. Every single vote that came in was swaying it back and forth, but number 2 ended up being Metal Gear Solid with 90 points.
I figured
Snake.
It's a JRPG server, so I'm not super surprised. Metal Gear Solid was my number 1. This is actually, I just redid my entire top 55 list, which is any game I've given a 5-star or a 4.5 star to, and Metal Gear Solid is number 2 on my list. So it's one of my favorite games of all time. The memories I have of this game, of just, like I said, staying up late and sneaking around and trying to figure out what to do in this game, it's just bar none some of the greatest gaming moments that I can remember. All the secrets in this game, Kojima being Kojima. You want to talk about boss fights? It's got the best boss fight in a video game ever, in my opinion, in Psycho Mantis. Who would ever come up with something that creative other than Kojima? Like, it just doesn't happen. You take your controller port out of controller 1 and switch it to 2. Like, who would think to do that? It's just madness, man. And you get the little secrets, like him reading off your memory card saves to you and kind of scaring the shit out of you. Like, there's just so much unique stuff in this game. Even to you needing the CD case to progress because there's a fucking code on it that you need. Like, I could just wax off this game for hours. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. It's one of the best games of all time, and it certainly deserves its place here.
You're gonna kill me.
Oh my god, Sean, what are you doing?
It just missed my list, but I really like Metal Gear. Metal Gear is a great game. I really enjoy playing it. I really enjoyed watching my dad play it. And my favorite boss fight is the Sniper Wolf battle. That is so good.
Yeah, I had it at 2, and I haven't played it in a long time. I really want to replay the entire series. I've only played Metal Gear Solid 1 on PS1 one time. So it's been quite a while. I'll admit that the first time I ever played it, I played Twin Snakes because that's what I had on GameCube. But then I played the PS1 version. I had both, like, because I remember on PS2 there was a trilogy box set you could get that came with 2 Subsistence, 1 Subsistence, and Metal Gear Solid 1, and that's when I finally had it on PS1, but as you remember, I never had a PS1 memory card, so I never actually played it and beat it until I played it on on Vita maybe, or it might have been PS3, I don't even remember, but I did a whole replay of the series up to, like, right before 5 came, and that's when I finally played the PS1 version for the first time. And it's incredible how well it holds up. So I definitely want to play it again sometime in the next couple years whenever they finally actually announce Volume 2 is coming out.
So I get your answer, Sean. Parrot, who's your boss fight in favorite boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 1?
I feel like it has to be
Psycho
Psycho
Mantis, yeah.
Mantis. That's what
So
I think. I mean,
it's Psycho Mantis for me too. But if I was to like take Psycho Mantis out of it and just kind of look at the characters, I still think the first battle with Revolver Ocelot's pretty fucking iconic too. I remember being stuck on that for a while just because I kept constantly tripping wires and killing myself. So.
And what's his face? The Cyborg Ninja is also quite cool.
There's so many great boss fights in that game. The codec calls, and just how you can call these people and get advice and tips. And there's so much dialogue just in this codex alone. It's all voice acted this game, and it's voice acted so fucking well too.
It was like a movie.
You know why I like this game, but it was.
Yeah. I'm due for a replay of Metal Gear, of the entire Metal Gear franchise. I'm waiting for eventually, if Metal Gear Solid 4 eventually ever gets playable on like PS5.
Surely it'll be in the Volume 2 collection. Surely.
Surely if that thing exists.
We'll see.
Surely you can't be serious. I'm serious, and don't call me Shirley.
So number 1, shockingly, with 100 points, the 1997 beat 'em up game Fighting Force.
Yeah, let's go. Fighting Force.
I almost voted for that game because I remember I would go to my friend's house. I had a friend that lived on the same street as me growing up, and he had this game on PS1, and it's just like so fun running around just beating people up. And then one time my mom like came to pick me up, and she saw us playing that, and she's like, "That's too violent for you to be playing. Don't play that over there anymore." Great game, but that's actually not number 1. I know you're surprised. That number 1 with 100 points is Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, my favorite game of all time comes through at number 1. This is why I love JRPGs. Absolutely love this game. The characters, I just fell in love with the characters instantly. Fell in love with the world instantly. This game is so timeless to me. It was the first game I became really, really obsessed with, to the point where I was constantly thinking about it. To the point where, like, I would take the manual with me everywhere I went. I made my dad buy me a Japanese copy when he was in Japan, even though we didn't have any way to play it. He came back with a Kate Sif plushie for me in 2003, and I was like, "This is freaking amazing!" Just the overall plot of the game blew my mind, because as a kid I didn't see any of it coming. Obviously, the big spoiler, the death scene, I was shocked. I started crying as a kid. I didn't want to believe that it actually happened. I fell in love with Cloud. Cloud is like my favorite video game character of all time. Barrett is just so iconic. They're all just such good characters. There's so much good to say about this game. I used to want to have, like, I used to play like outside and pretend like I was the characters and be running around Cosmo Canyon. And I wanted to name our first dog Red 13. I did. Was not allowed. Got shot down. But yeah, this is just such a good game, such a love letter to the PS1 of a console that was full of great JRPGs, for like one of the best games of all time to be on that console as a JRPG, to make JRPGs like quote unquote cool for like the mainstream audience. Final Fantasy VII did so much for the PS1 console in general that it made people go out and get it. It is such a good game, and it holds up today so well.
Yeah, I mean, I can just test that because I'm literally playing it right now. I'm nearly done, actually. I just got back to Midgar, end of disc 2, so I'm nearly finished. I'm doing my replay. This game is number 2 on my list, and it's my 4th favorite game of all time. I mean, I pretty much echo everything you said. This game is incredible. It's iconic. It's, it's one of the games that you associate with PlayStation and just RPGs in general. That death scene is probably the most shocking death scene in any video game ever. I don't think anything's ever topped it. It's perfect. It's horrifying, but it's so well done. It's just The story is amazing. The characters are all great. The party, you care about each one of those party members, and you really want to get into it. I love this game, and I've been very hard on Remake and Rebirth and all of those games. But one thing I've realized while replaying this game is it's not really fair to those games because they're doing their own thing and it's doing a pretty spectacular job at it, expanding the universe and doing a lot of cool things there. But nothing was ever going to top this game for me ever. It's too ingrained in my childhood. It's too tremendous, and yeah, it's a hell of a game. The fact that they could build something like this in 1997 with the scope, and this game was literally the reason why, basically, like, because Square had such a strong relationship with Nintendo, and this game couldn't be on a Nintendo 64, right? Square wanted to make this game for Nintendo, but they couldn't. They had to go over to the PlayStation because that's where this game was possible at that time, and started a long and fruitful relationship with Square and Sony after that. But yeah, no, Final Fantasy VII is just such a masterpiece in every way, shape, and form. I still love the combat in this game. I think it's great. It's so good,
So good.
man. Building up your limit breaks and using your materia, and there's so much depth to that system, especially for a game this far back. I don't know, man. There's so much to love about this game, and it's just tremendous.
Shout out to the Turks. One more thing before anyone gives me crap. The reason why I said Red 13 is because I'm not spoiling anything about that character. That's why.
Also, the soundtrack is still so good too, man. Like that, like you were
Oh
talking
my
about, you were talking
god,
about Cosmo
banger.
Cannon. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Such a banger, man. Like,
It's also one of my favorite locations of all time. This Cosmo Canyon.
it's so good.
I love
Classic
it.
Midgar. I mean, just this, when you first get on the streets of
Midgar.
Midgar and the do do do, and you're pulling up in the train, like that's just, oh my
Freaking Wall
god, man,
Market.
it's just perfect. It's perfect.
The music is perfection. It is a constant in my playing on Spotify. Every single marathon I've run, the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack is a part of
It's
it.
awesome.
So were you guys surprised whatsoever that this was
No,
number one?
I knew it would either be this or Metal Gear Solid, and this being more of a JRPG centric voting group, not surprised this is number one. Absolutely not. I think either this or Metal Gear Solid, and even Symphony of the Night to some degree, I think would have been perfectly fine choices for the number one slot. You really can't go wrong with any of these games. These are all iconic, platform defining games. So yeah, I mean, when you think of Final Fantasy, almost everyone immediately will talk about Final Fantasy VII.
One Winged
One Winged Angel, man. Sephiroth, who's probably considered, you know, you've got you always have your little trolls in the background. Like, hey, Kefka's better. And by the way, I do like Kefka a lot. Don't get after me, Final Fantasy VI fans. I think he's great now that I've played it. But Sephiroth is again one of the most iconic villains I've ever seen in the game. So yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty tight between those two. I wasn't sure if Metal Gear Solid was going to pull it off, but it is fitting that Final Fantasy VII was the winner. So, again, for our final top 10, 1, Final Fantasy VII, 2, Metal Gear Solid, 3, Crash 2, 4, Symphony of the Night, 5, Crash 1, 6, Spyro 2, 7, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, 8, Xenogears, 9, Final Fantasy Tactics, and 10, Resident Evil 2. Seems like a pretty fitting group, even though I don't really know a lot about some of them, but
yeah, I think
they're all games that
I think the only thing
iconic.
that surprises me a little is Final Fantasy Tactics being there over 9, but I think that's probably because I didn't vote for 9 and a couple other people didn't. Well, or if you were doing one per, might have left it out too. So that's probably what happened there. Other than that, though, it's a pretty solid list. I can't say I'm too upset over it.
Now, are there any other games for the PS1 that you guys want to shout out that didn't get any votes that we haven't talked about?
Toomba. Shout out Toomba. Toomba's awesome, man. Pink-haired, crazy little guy. I like Toomba a lot. Couldn't make my list, but good game. MDK is another one. I know that's more known as like a PC game in a lot of circles, but I played it on PlayStation, and it was MDK was so much fun. I'm always going to shout out Brain Dead 13. I don't think anyone else have ever played that game or even heard of that game, Also a PlayStation game for me though, and wildly inappropriate for a kid to be playing. But good God, I love that game. Um, also, I can't even tell you the name of this game, and if somebody knows the name of this game, please tag me. But there was a game that's like it's like an animated game. It's kind of Monty Python style humor, and it was a point and click adventure on the PlayStation. You played as like cartoon dragons. That game fucking rocked, and I really wish I could remember the name of that game. So if anybody knows, please tell me, because that game was fucking cool. And like, I, in fact, to the point where I even considered putting it on my top 10, but I was like, fuck, I don't know the name and I can't find it. I'm googling, so how can I put it on my list? But fun ass game.
I haven't played any of these really, but like the Siphon Filter trilogy was on PS1. I tried to play the first one. I wouldn't say it holds up particularly well. And then didn't Alone in the Dark came out on PS1, so that's like another horror game. But yeah, I haven't played a lot of PS1, so those are like pretty much all the ones that I remember playing are on here. Oh, Dino Crisis is another one that I thought maybe would have got a vote, but it did not.
Tales of Destiny did not get a vote. I'm a big Tales of fan. That was really tough to leave off my list. I understand why there are better Tales games, and a lot of them come later, like during the PS2 era. So that doesn't shock me. But a shame that it didn't get mentioned. To Rampage. Anyone ever play Rampage?
Oh
Those
yeah,
fighting
shut up,
games?
Rampage. Those games are great.
Yeah, I used to. Those were rentals for me. I really like them, and it's a shame that that movie came out in 2018. Very much ashamed, but those are really fun. Just rampaging through like cities and destroying them. Also, big shout out to Rugrats Search for Reptar. This was a
Nice.
staple in my house. Me and my sister used to play this game. My sister was speedrunning this game for a while. It is such a fun game. Just a really enjoyable game. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked anyone didn't vote for it, but yeah, overall great console. PS1. I really like the PS1. Or the PlayStation we should call it, because the PS1 was the thing that came out in 2000. Did anyone have a PS1, like an
Yeah,
actual PS1,
I
like the
did.
small
I did. Yeah.
version? Okay. I was just curious. I knew one person with it.
Yeah, no, they were cool. I mean, I still think of when I think of it, I still think of the original PlayStation one, obviously, but the PS1 was cool too.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Wipeout. I did not play the PS1 entries, but that's a franchise that went on to be something that I really liked.
Shout out Reboot, Canadian animation series, and had a game. I only rented it, but it was fun. There were so many PlayStation games I rented, man, that like I would just play for a weekend and then never beat it and kind of never play it again. But that was one of them. I remember I think it was a Futurama PlayStation game, if I recall. Maybe it was PS2. I think it was PS1 though. But I remember playing that one too. So I don't know. There's so much.
Isn't
Mr. Driller?
Mr. Driller was PS1.
Oh,
yeah.
Klonoa?
Klonoa. You was
Never played it. Yeah, it was PS1.
Mid. I'm worried that Gex and Croc are going to be just like how I felt about Klonoa. Where as a kid, I always wanted to play Klonoa, and then I finally played it like a few years ago. I'm like, wow, this game is so mediocre. It's sad.
I spent about 20 minutes playing the remake.
I finished the
Yeah.
Klonona 1 remake. I thought it was good, but yeah, it's not great. I haven't gone back to 2. I'll do that at some point. I think you'll probably feel that way about Croc if I was to guess, but Gex's humor, I think, will elevate it for you a little bit because it's funny. It's a funny game.
And the controls of Croc.
Yeah,
really
Gex
bad.
controls like more of a
really
modern platformer. Croc does not, and I don't know if they changed that in the remake. I hope they did because Croc controlled like shit. So hopefully it controls better.
And then another shout out. I really thought that I may be like misunderstanding, but I thought people liked the game Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Don't people
Yeah, no,
like
it is
that
popular.
game?
I've
That
never
got
played
no
it,
votes.
so I can't actually really. Yeah,
I never have either, but I thought it would have
Was
got
that-
one vote.
I think
at
it's Crystal
least.
Dynamics, same people that made Tomb Raider. I recall.
Yeah.
Definitely something I've always wanted to play. Like I've looked at that remake, remaster, whatever. It goes on sale sometimes, and I've considered it a couple times. So I will probably play it eventually. But yeah, just one I've never gotten a chance to play.
One more shout out: the Army Men games.
Yeah,
the 3DO
those are
Army
fun.
Men games, like the Army Men. Yeah, Army Men 3D,
Yeah.
Army Men Surge as Heroes, Toys in Space,
Yeah.
Air Attack. All those are so good, dude. The Sarge Heroes 2 is so good.
Well, and if we're giving out a final shout out, I gotta shout out the WWF SmackDown games. SmackDown and SmackDown
Nice.
2 Know Your Role. They were funny because like those games actually tried to have like, I think they were the first wrestling games where they actually tried to have like an actual story mode, and like you'd have your character like just create a character, get like involved in the most random shit, and then you'd like have a random match for like the championship. Like it was just so random and hilarious, the backstage segments in that game. Atrocious loading times though. Like I remember it would take like 5 minutes just to load through matches. Horrible. Don't miss those.
No. All right. Well, I think we probably covered, like with all the shoutouts, probably covered like 75 games out of the PlayStation library. So that's a pretty vast, wide net of games that we've talked about. And if anybody's mad about the top 10, well, you voted for it. Maybe you should have campaigned harder for your favorite game. Maybe that could have done it. But yeah, so thanks for joining, Addi. I'm glad we could finally talk about this, your favorite console,
Yeah,
PlayStation.
I was very happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. This console means a lot to me. I was glad to do the 64 one too, but I knew like my heart of hearts, the PlayStation is my favorite console of all time. So I know your Discord skews a lot more Nintendo, but I'm glad to see this beloved Sony classic get some love as it deserves.
Yeah, it was. We've been serving the Nintendo audience a lot more lately than I wanted. I love Nintendo the most, but I did want to get to PlayStation. But this PlayStation 1 episode is just my least knowledgeable, so it was a bit of a roadblock. But now that we've got this, we can continue on to PlayStation consoles that I've personally played a lot more, so I can push for the episodes to be recorded sooner. Yeah, glad we could talk about this with you also, Sean. Of course, you were very excited to finally do a PlayStation episode.
Yeah, I love the PlayStation's like my favorite. Right there, that PlayStation and Nintendo. I'm so happy that Addi joined us because I love talking to Addi. Such a good guy. Overall, just one of the best people I know. Really,
Sean, we're not supposed to be lying, but I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I don't lie. I do. That's the one thing I do not tell lies. I cannot stand.
Sean, you're my
lies.
favorite person. Thank you, and continue to be a wonderful human being as always. Even if you didn't put Metal Gear Solid on your list, you're insane for that. But I'll forgive you.
I apologize. My fault. It's not one. It's definitely my fault.
When you replay them, I expect a DM being like, "Okay, it should have been in my top 10," and then be like, "All right, we're good."
Snake.
All right. Well, that will do it. Thanks again, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you all next time. Goodbye.
Nano machines.
Bye, guys.